Welcome everybody to Meet Your Maker, the latest episode. Today we have with us Jason Abercrombie. Jason, how's it going today?
Going well. Thanks
All
for
right. Yeah, man, I'm super excited. I've got a few sauces here that I wanted to actually, one of them in particular I want to talk about. But what actually got you started into making hot sauce?
Oof. Well, I've always been a plant guy. I went to school. I'm originally from South Carolina. I went to University of Tennessee for grad school and got a PhD in plant science. And my background is mostly plant biotechnology, so sort of genetic engineering and that sort of thing. So I've been growing. I've been kind of a plant grower for 20 years or so, but really only recently have gotten into hot peppers and have just fallen in love with it. So there's been a lot of online inspiration for me through social media. And I've just, in the past couple of years, I've been watching guys on Facebook and guys who are doing it professionally and, and just having friends at where I teach. I'm a school teacher, reach out to me and say, hey, you know, can you grow some, can you help me with germinating these Carolina Reaper seeds, and so um, trying to figure that out and just, it really kind of evolved at school. And so we started about an acre lot as a school garden, which was this overgrown mess. And we wanted to I have a heart for kind of getting kids involved in planting things and getting them in the garden. And
Right.
the hot sauce thing came about as an idea for me to try to generate engagement among the students to get them out to the garden. So a couple of years ago, I pitched this idea for us to have a hot sauce club. And we have something called chapel where the entire upper school, I teach high school students, and the entire upper school student body meets and you can make announcements. And I made an announcement one spring a couple of years ago, and I said, hey, I want to start a hot sauce club. Um, we can plant peppers in our garden and you guys can help me. And next fall when we come back, the plan is that we can make our own hot sauce and have our school hot sauce. And about 25 kids showed up in my classroom after I made that announcement.
Oh, wow.
It was
That's awesome.
overwhelming. And as soon as that happened, I said, I got to plant more peppers.
Yeah. Okay.
And it took off from there. So I kind of got kind of cut my teeth on figuring out how to grow peppers through that experience and through the experience of making hot sauce with students where I teach at Webb in Knoxville. It was really inspiring because it took a lot of effort to grow, as these peppers from seed, and you obsessively take care of these and want them to do well, and then you harvest, and then for people to come to you after you've made your sauce and say that's the best hot sauce I've ever had, that kind of keeps me going. So it inspired me to just pursue this. And when the pandemic hit, I had a lot of time on my hands and a lot of thinking to do. And serendipitously, a friend of mine who owns Jeffrey De Alejandro, who owns a couple of local restaurants, he said, dude, you can use my kitchen to cook and bottle hot sauce. And that was all it took for me.
Wow. That's awesome.
Man, that's tremendously generous. And it completely opened the door for me to be able to apply to the TDA for permitting to legally sell the hot sauce. So otherwise, my initial business plan was to just kind of like what other people are doing is selling the super hots online, like in the small flat rate boxes and things like that. But
Right.
Really what I enjoy as much as growing the peppers and harvesting the super hots is making the sauce and getting that good feedback. So I'm definitely hooked. It's an all-consuming obsession at this point, and I don't know where it's going to go, but right now it's definitely a side hustle because my full-time job is teaching, and I love teaching. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I would say with what you've done with working with the kids, I mean, it goes so well together. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. And at a time that we're in right now, what a great opportunity to take with the kids to teach them something that's a lost art, which is just growing food. I mean, myself, I've just started growing a garden this year. There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly learning, but understand that you've got your doctorate. You said in
Uh,
plants.
Plant science, but most of that training was in molecular biology.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is you are Dr. Pepper. And I think that you deserve those copyrights. We're gonna have to talk to Coca-Cola because I think you should officially be titled
Yeah,
Dr. Pepper.
we might have, yeah, we might have to consider some rebranding on that one.
But when you're talking about working with kids and everything, I've worked with our local planetarium, and the moment, and I'm sure you've seen it a million times, and another thing I'm sure it keeps you going, when you see a child's face light up, they learn something and they've been able to apply it. There's nothing like that.
Right.
And it's just extremely inspirational.
Yeah, it makes it, last year, talking about, inspiration is far and away, when I ask for feedback at the end of the year from students, far and away the most enjoyment students got. I always ask them, like, what did you enjoy most about this year? What did you hate? Things that I can improve next year. And far and away, the feedback I got from most students was the pepper days were awesome. We always look forward to the pepper days because we would be planting. I'd show them how to, because these super hots, they're a challenge to grow.
Right.
It's the paper towel method, and then we would transplant, and it was a long, slow process that we basically started in February. So by the time springtime rolls around, they've gone through the whole process of watching these things grow. And then when COVID hit, I was actually like making deliveries to the kids who grew their peppers, who couldn't access them because obviously they had generated or built up all this excitement about the peppers all year, and then we're out of school. But yeah, far and away, the enthusiasm about growing those peppers was tremendous, and the kids, and the like you said, the lost art aspect of it, and when you see kids just staring at their phones all day, it's like, man, we should really focus on getting them, to think about food and where food comes from.
Absolutely. I mean, I live in an agricultural community here in rural Tennessee. And if that model that you've created there could be replicated and used in other places, I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. What a great addition that could be to schools everywhere. I think we have, like, I was FFA, the Future Farmers of America. But still, I mean, what an incredible thing to add in, because this is just something, it adds more enjoyment to life, a potential business in the future, you know, but especially just the enjoyment. I really like going out, and I'm sure you get this too, just going out and being in the plants, and just everything else goes away for a little while.
Absolutely. So peaceful, and yeah, it's meditative. I mean, it's a beautiful experience to be out there and checking on your plants. I mean, I always see these posts on social media, memes and things about people checking on their plants obsessively. And I mean, you're out there all the time. You want to see how they're doing and make sure you have healthy plants.
My wife, she'll stick her head out the door sometimes. She's like, "Are you out here talking to your plants again?" I'm like, "They're listening." You got to talk to them. You got to make sure they're doing all right. Something has been enjoying the leaves on my Carolina Reaper plant. I have yet to track down what it is yet. It's evaded capture, and I've not used any insecticides. I started off using a organic, I think they call it insecticidal soap at first when they were younger, and then I just quit using anything because I had some spiders move in, and they've done a great job. But now I have something that mysteriously seems to be eating leaves and disappearing, and I've got to figure out what it is. I've got one of your hot sauces here, and I know we spoke a minute ago before we started this. I had one lined up I was going to show, but I actually just kind of changed my mind. You've got a sauce that doesn't exist on the open market yet. And I think you've got one there that has a label on it. Mine doesn't have a label because my building is haunted, and I have yet to find. I had the envelope you sent me. It was here. and I'm clueless. It has disappeared. So I was hoping you'd have a bottle where you could show everybody what it looks like.
See how well it'll show.
See if it'll work. There we go.
Yeah, it's a little weird with the background, I guess. But this is, I've been working with a graphic designer for all these labels. And on this last one,
wow, that's awesome.
I wanted to give him more creative freedom. All I basically told him were the ingredients.
Right.
He took the sugar skull, and I think he went kind of with this Mayan headdress sort of theme on the sugar skull, which I really loved. And this sauce, I've been giving free bottles out to my friends, and the feedback is tremendous that they love it. I've been putting it on everything. I just am a big fan.
Well, mine doesn't have a label, so they can see the texture really well. You can see all the bits and pieces in this. And I actually did an unboxing of these sauces when they came in. And I was really excited that you'd actually give me a note that had the ingredients. I believe this is the one that has green apple in it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's something I have not seen.
I've seen it. I've seen other people do it, but my original plan was just tomatillos and do a classic one, and then
right.
Actually, I think I was just talking to my wife, and she suggested green apples. And
oh wow. Okay, when I open that up, were there tomatillos in this? Because I'm getting that.
No, not in this.
Now, why am I not getting it? It's my brain is playing tricks on me. But it smells so fresh. I mean, it literally smells like, sometimes you can open a sauce and it's almost like you can smell the garden it came from. It has that to me.
That batch was absolutely made with fresh peppers right off the plant.
This smells like I want to make tacos tonight.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one.
Oh, wow. I love the pour on it. It is extremely consistent. And I like the texture on it too. I'm going to get it over here where I can actually show what that consistency looks like. Maybe I won't make just a huge mess. There we go. So you can see in the spoon. Whoop, there we go. It is not thin by any measure. It's going to adhere to food really well. What did you have in mind? Oh my gosh, that's good. Oh wow. Okay, it's got a sweetness to it. That's got to be the apples. And then you've got, I'm going to have to look at my list of ingredients to understand because I definitely, Serranos. That's what it is. I was trying to figure out which one I was tasting first. And then I get the onions. Then there's some heat there.
Yeah.
Was there some 7-pot mustards in this one?
Yeah, that one has jalapenos, serranos, and 7-pot mustard. And
the apples on the finish. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty.
So you had 7 pots and...
Yeah, and I didn't go overboard with the 7 hots. I mean, it's still an approachable sort of medium heat sauce.
Oh, yeah. No. Anybody that's... I would say maybe not starting off, but maybe they're like started off and they're like, okay, what else is there?
Yeah.
This is kind of that gateway sauce to me into the world of a little bit warmer sauces. Oh my gosh, that is so good. If you glazed a ham in that, it would be so good. Yeah. I'll be honest though, I think this is one of those sauces that I want to just eat it by itself. It's so good. I don't want anything to interfere with it.
Yeah. I had a buddy tell me the other night, he said, that sauce is good, but you need to make it in a bigger bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I get the gallon size, please? Because, I could literally see me knowing myself using it like salsa and just literally just dipping it by itself. But I think if I wanted to add it to something that I already made, adding this to a guacamole would be insanely good. Because I think pairing it along with the avocados, it wouldn't really overpower the flavor. You could get all the flavor in there with it. I think that'd be really good. I'm a huge guacamole fan. I like to make it though, where it's chunky, it's not blended. Just pour the sauce over it. Yeah. And I think this one's definitely going to be finding its way into my guacamole recipe quickly. I've got some other ones that I'm going to be reviewing as well. Probably the people that are seeing this interview now are going to see before this interview, if they watch the Sunday, they'll go back and see the Blueberry Scorpion review. Because I'm planning on doing that one because I am going to have some ice cream in the studio for that one.
Okay.
Because I think that I have never had hot sauce on ice cream. This will be the first time I do that.
Yeah,
So I'm
I don't
super
think I've
excited.
tried that on ice cream, but it sounds like a good idea.
It just looking the color and the consistency and blueberry, just I was like, I want this on just a vanilla basic ice cream. I think that it would pair just perfectly. So I'm excited to see how that works out. So this is awesome. You're actually growing. So you're going from seed all the way to finished product.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I don't want that to change. So, my
Right.
wife and I are currently looking for a place with more property so that I can grow my business. And I don't want it to get to the point where I lose that part of it, because that's what I enjoy most, is just doing it myself and keeping it at the scale that I can take care of each plant and take the care of, knowing what, keeping the scale reasonable, I think.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. And is it something that I feel like it's something that you can keep the kids involved? Like they could come back and be like, hey, could I help with harvest this year? Or could I do something with this? It seems like to me it would be an extremely enjoyable
yeah,
a thing to just do.
yeah, I want to keep the pepper thing going with my students, but as soon as I started this as a side business, my first thought was, okay, I want to avoid a conflict of interest and not have my personal money-making venture sort of,
Right.
cross with what's going on at school. But I mean, I know that there's still tons of students that want to have a hot sauce club. Unfortunately, with COVID, our school has prevented me from having that this year. However, I still planted tons of peppers in the garden that they can participate in harvest and things like that. So um, hopefully, maybe, I've got a bunch in the freezer already that we've been harvesting. So maybe in the spring we can start cranking out some more sauce.
Okay. That'll be great. Yeah. COVID-19 has been just terrible. It's really, it's shut down all the. I got back into this really big this year. Um, and I would really love to go to a festival. That's not a thing. There's so many things that have just stopped. Uh, so you guys, are y'all at school? You guys able to function as normal? I imagine not.
It's
Uh,
it's just weird. I mean, fortunately, all the students have fantastic attitude, but we're all wearing masks. The teachers
right,
have to wear the mask. I have to wear a mask in the classroom, even without any students in the classroom. I have to keep my mask on all day. And
right,
we can go outside and take little mask breaks and things like that. But it's a little awkward, teaching. There's a bit of an adjustment to teaching with that mask on, and then they have masks on, and it takes a little bit of the magic out of it, I think, and a little bit of the communication, and the teaching is not as effective. But I'm learning. I'm learning how to do that. So
yeah.
hopefully,
Well, teachers are to be commended. You guys are our frontline people in this, and to be able to, it's so important for these kids. I know to have the social interaction, and to have all this stuff, and it's hats off to you guys for being out there and really taking the risk. I mean, because it is definitely a risk just to be there. And I'm sure parents like myself and students alike appreciate uh, all the hard work you guys have put into dealing with this new world that we're in. Hopefully it's not a permanent thing. I hope eventually they figure out something we can change how everything is at the current time. But anything new other than, I know we just sort of had this, I guess that was our new thing to talk about, that new sauce that you've got coming out soon. Is that one going to be on your website anytime soon?
it will. I think probably in my plan was to cook and bottle a batch this weekend, and real estate and searching for houses took priority. So I'm shooting for next weekend, Labor Day weekend, cranking out a big bottle, and as soon as that's bottled, I will update our website with a new product, and this will be on there. And
Awesome.
I'll have different options, purchasing options that you can do combos and things like that. Currently have one where you can buy a 3-pack of the ones that are behind me on the green screen, but this one's not quite on there, but shooting for next week.
All right. Now I'll have a link in the description to Abercrombie Peppers where everybody can pick up their hot sauces. And I'm super excited to get to try out the other ones. This is the first one, and I'm blown away. I love this. I think green apples was a great idea. Um, and I think it's going to go a lot. I think this would go really well with seafood as well. I was sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, fish tacos, this would be incredible.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'm definitely going to have to play with that. All right, Jason. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today and doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
And
Brian, for having me. Absolutely.
yeah, love from my family to yours. I hope you guys stay safe and all this stuff. And I hope to do this again someday. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
I enjoyed it, and definitely hope to connect again soon. So thank you for reaching out, and thanks for having me.
Sounds great. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. See ya.